Grizzlies win it this afternoon over the Minnesota Timberwolves, 108-106. Desmond Bane getting a big hoop late in this one, 2 of his 22 to give the Grizzlies the lead that they would not relinquish. As for the second time in 9 days against the Timberwolves, came down to the stretch, and the Grizzlies come away with a 2-point victory. Welcome to Grizzlies Live Postgame, presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers. Rob Fisher, Brevin Knight, and Chris Vernon with you as we wrap up this one between the Grizz and the Timberwolves today. Didn't feel great all day. It was a slow pace. It wasn't really the Grizzlies game. You just thought they're close enough. If they can just have a good quarter, they can win this game, and they did.
Well, the thing that they wanted to do was they couldn't let the lack of offense affect the defensive intensity, and they never allowed that to happen, even when the Timberwolves were able to get up by 15. Well, the Grizzlies knew that they still have a chance if they could just come up with the necessary stops. They made the stops, they got out and ran, and it wasn't just done in one quarter. This was a chipping away by them throughout the body of the game to ultimately pull it out in the fourth.
I feel like this one was super important just because they have lost these disjointed games that they have played, whether it was against the Clippers, whether it was against the Mavericks, whether it was against the Lakers. These games where you're going to have – this game had 61 free throws in it, right? You're playing tons of dead ball basketball. And when they're not able to run up and down the floor and catch a flow, then that has really been to their disservice. And yet today, this was a slugfest,
yes,
right? I mean, you make 7 threes in the game, the entire game. You have less than 20 assists in the game.
Yeah.
Like, these are the kind of games that they've not, when we've had losses, this is what's added up to losses, and instead to be able to get a win in a game like this, I thought was mega important.
Yeah, Grizzlies making free throws down the stretch. 9 of their last 11 points coming from the charity stripe. Also 24 points in the paint in that fourth quarter. Attempted just 1 3 as the Grizzlies get the job done. And the guy who had a big fourth quarter tonight for the Grizzlies was Jaren Jackson Jr. Really struggled getting it to go for himself in the first 3 quarters. Had just 5 points had 9 points after 3 quarters. Explodes in the fourth.
Well, the reason why he was the struggles was there was no flow to the game because of the foul trouble that he had in the first half. He had the 3 fouls. There was never really any extended run for him. But when he did have an opportunity to have extended run, again, he was the most dominating big on the floor. They could not defend him one-on-one situations. I thought he did a great job with his patience in this game because they wanted to run the double team from the baseline. He never fully turned into it so that the double teams knew when to come. So I thought it was just another show of Jaren's growth and maturation to have the first half that he had, only having 5 points, but being able to explode with a huge double-double.
Also, I think it's super promising that the Grizzlies are obviously deciding we're playing through you.
Yes.
Right? How many times did we talk about, like, hey, man, just throw Jaren the ball,
yes,
right? There's never that issue.
Yes.
There's never that issue anymore. Jaren gets the ball, and obviously he is able to take literally anyone off the dribble and get to his shot.
25 points a game in the last 5 games at home for Jaren Jackson Jr. as he finished with the 24 today. For the Minnesota Timberwolves this afternoon, it was a huge first half for Anthony Edwards, their star. Grizzlies did a better job in the second half, right? He only scored 10.
Yeah, they did a way better job in the second half. I thought in the first half, the Timberwolves just did a better job of being demonstrative in terms of the screens that they set for him. They were setting 2 and 3 screens per half-court possession to get him the ball. He never got the ball coming towards the basketball in Minnesota. Everything had to be backdoor. Well, in this game, they did a great job of letting him be perimeter-oriented. In the second half, though, I thought the Grizzlies, the physicality was there, and they did not allow him to get to the basketball as much. I also feel as though he also started to get a little tired in this basketball game from all of the pressure.
Yeah, he was doing everything for them, certainly in that first half. And I thought another part of it was Grizzlies just were not seeing the ball go in.
Right.
They weren't seeing the ball go in. You knew that this is a great basketball game, a great ending to a basketball game, because everybody in this entire arena knew this is about to come down to an Anthony Edwards 3. It's either going to go in and we're all upset, or it's going to miss and everybody's thrilled. But this is a one-shot proposition. Everybody in the free world knew Anthony Edwards was going to take that last shot, and it's going to be balls in the air, right?
If it's going in or not. Jaren knew it. Really, Anthony Edwards still throwing a backdoor pass to Julius Randle for a layup that would have tied the basketball game. But he doesn't. Jaren just leaves Julius Randle and goes on the double team to contest the shot.
Yeah, and that's 2 games now in the last 9 days that it came down to the wire for the Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves, with Ant having a chance to at least extend the game, if not win the game, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not able to get it done as the Grizzlies get the win today. For the Grizzlies today, Desmond Bane, another good game for Desmond Bane. So everybody, I mean, nobody had a great game because it was one of those games, but Des had a really solid game today. Good shooting percentage for Des today. Knocked down 4 threes as well.
Yeah, really good, and you know that he is going to bring kind of everything to the table. He's able to get you some rebounds, he gets you some assists, and I thought he did a very good job handling the ball today, right? It's been kind of a mess in some of these games, especially when the competition gets greater, and there's a lot of possessions where he's the one leading the offense, and I thought he was very good handle-wise, didn't have any kind of needless turnovers in this game, and then obviously he's just, you know, we have seen him progress and look more and more like himself. It started in December. Obviously, it's carried on to January, and we've got the Desmond Bane that we were so used to completely back.
Another thing I give Desmond Bane credit for is the patience that he showed in this basketball game, because, again, early in the game, not even getting a lot of shots for this team. But he still just plays until it becomes his time. And when it is his time, and they have called on him time and time again in second halves, he has come through.
Yep, he did again today. And after the game, he visited with our own Jessica Benson on his way off the floor.
This is first lead of the second half with less than 3.5 minutes left in this game. How were you able to rally and come out with the win tonight?
Some dogs, you know what I'm saying? It was ugly from the start, but you know, we kept competing and found a way down the stretch.
You talk about that ugly first start, overcome a tough shooting night as a team early on. How did the offense get some flow there in the second half?
Just get some stops. We was able to get out and run, open it up for everybody. Starts on the defensive end for us.
How special is it to play in front of this crowd on MLK Day here in Memphis?
Ain't nothing better. Nothing you can take for granted. Best fans in the league. Appreciate y'all for sure.
Thanks, Des.
22 for Desmond Bane. He had 8 in the third quarters. He continues to pack up big third quarters for the Grizzlies. Grizzlies win it today 108-106 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Continue their hot stretch at home, winning 11 of their last 13 and improved to 28-15 on the season. We will take a break here on Grizzlies Live Postgame, presented by your Mid-South Ford dealers. We'll come back. We got much more, including hearing from the head coach of the Grizzlies, Taylor Jenkins, and more to come as the Grizzlies win it today over the T-Wolves by 2.